Hello everyone, my name is Avian Lotus and welcome to the first devlog for my game Mutant Harbour. Mutant Harbour is a top-down, survival tower defense title in which you scrounge for resources during the day and engage in thrilling sea battles at night against nightmarish mutated marine life. Resource collection is split into three different categories: nodes, which are environmental objects that can be broken down; fishing spots, in which you will have to complete a mini game in order to receive resources; and caverns, which are an entirely different beast and I will be covering sometime in the near future. As soon as the sun goes down, the player must make a beeline to their personal vessel and get back to the town to defend it against the nightmarish creatures that only come out at this hour of the night. With a game project so ambitious, there were bound to be some bugs. Let's get into some bugs! So my workflow for animations were already a little scuffed to begin with. I do all of my pixel art through an outside program called Sprite, and then import all those assets into Unity. Now, when doing animations through Sprite, for whatever reason, when I upload them into Unity, Unity decides it would be a great idea to auto-format everything so that it works in this editor, which is all fine and good, except it makes it so that you can no longer edit or make any changes to it without having to essentially re-export the file within Unity and then save it as its own separate entity. And then we have the jitter bug. Now, the jitter bug was caused on my own behalf. Traditionally, when you are making 2D games where you have tools or weapons or anything that swings in an arc, you want to put that on a separate game object than the player object. The reason for this is that when you have sprites, let's say that your canvas size for your character is a 16 by 16 sprite, as mine is. When you have tools that swing outside of a 16 by 16 canvas, when importing into Unity, it doesn't extend the canvas, but rather shifts the pixels over so that the farthest end starts within that 16 by 16 canvas that you have laid out. And the problem with that is when it shifts it over, it moves the center of your pixels like over by one. Essentially, what this does is it creates issues within the editor for finding where the pivot point of your character is, and it just judders the character back and forth like one unit every so often, every couple frames. It really just depends on like the animation that you've made. So the only solution that I had for this versus me having to go back and redraw sprites was to go into the editor and manually brute force the pivot points for every frame. This is only really viable because I have so few frames in my animation. Each one of my animations is like 6-7 frames long. Very simple, so it doesn't take a whole lot of time to go through this process. But figuring out the solution to the problem was definitely a painstaking process. It took me multiple days and multiple testing of different theoretical solutions to land on the one that actually worked. I want to extend a thank you to anybody that has made it this far into the video. I plan to release devlogs every Friday, so please stay tuned for more developments. Until then, I'm Avian Lotus, signing off.